It's about to go down.
Burning your ears with another all-killer and no-filler episode of the best motorsports radio on the planet. It's the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. With your host, Jim Beaver.
Sliding trophy trucks, jumping razors, and dropping the mic at events across the country.
Amy Hood.
What's up, guys? I'm a professional fun haver, dirt bike rider, and monster truck driver.
With support from Polaris Razor, General Tire, Subaru, and Dirtfish. Hang on tight, strap in, and get ready to smoke some tires and lay some roost. Here's the man who carries a steering wheel in one hand and a mic in the other. Jim Beaver.
What is happening? Jim Beaver here with the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. We have one hell of a show today, one I'm very excited about. Once in a while it rains, it pours, and we get to do epic stuff here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Today is the day that happens. We've got my General Tire teammate, good friend, and one of I guess you'd call him a NASCAR legend, but Mr. Greg Biffle, he is calling in. He raced some stadium super trucks with Robbie Gordon over the weekend, and you know what? Boom, podium for Mr. Biffle. So we got Greg Biffle on the show. We're going to be talking SST and a whole lot more with Greg. Then hour number 2, we got my man, Street Bike Tommy. He is up at Dirtfish Rally School right now. He is shredding Subarus around that facility. Street Bike Tommy, I caught up with him yesterday after class. He's in class today. Couldn't call in live. But Street Bike Tommy, he is on the line. And then it is, what do you know? It is Crandon this weekend. The biggest, baddest off-road race on the planet. It is happening this weekend in Crandon, Wisconsin. It's where you got that sleepy little town that gets taken over by 50,000 rabid off-road fans. Yep, that is this weekend. So we are going to have my good friend Keegan Kincaid, Vision Wheel driver, but he knows how to win at Crandon. He's a Crandon local, coming off a big win at Bark River a few weeks back. Keegan's going to be on the show today. So, I don't know. We are locked, loaded, and ready for a whole lot of fun. We're going to talk about pro motocross, some shenanigans with Travis Pastrana, and Motocross of Nations. And we've got a lot to talk about with my main man, Connor Daly. He's not on the show, but just some craziness happened in the past week. If you follow motorsports at all, you know we're not going to get into it quite yet, but we are here in one of the first segments. So a whole lot coming at you today on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. You want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris Razor because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRazor.com or follow at Polaris Razor on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle and Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% 10% discount. When looking for a new wheel for your off-road vehicle, car, truck, or UTV, the choice is easy. You choose what the pros use. Rob McCachran, Keegan Kincaid, and myself, Jim Beaver, all exclusively use Vision Wheel, whether we're dominating Baja, taking the cup at Crandon, or shredding UTVs. Vision Wheel's trend-setting designs and durability will set you apart from the competition and your friends. Check out visionwheel.com or at Vision Wheel on social media to learn more.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. A 268-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. It's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Want the latest from Jim Beaver and Amy Hood? Follow at JimBeaver15 and at AmyHood71 on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
All right. We are back here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. And as I take that deep breath in, right? You guys, I feel like when I take a deep breath like that, something big's coming, right? Sorry to disappoint you. I got nothing. For you. But no, seriously, it's a big one this weekend. Just so you know, and this is me, I guess, patting myself on the back here. Boom, boom, as we say that. I'm patting myself on the back. I'm getting ready to fly out to Crandon, Wisconsin, for the biggest off-road race of the year, Polaris Razor World Championships, and then it is the AMSO Cup race. So I am getting ready to fly back to Crandon for all that fun stuff. We got a bunch of West Coast dudes making the trip out there. I don't know. We'll see if we can break those down here in a few minutes, but looking forward to that one. Crandon's a special place. If you listen to the show, I don't care if you've just started listening or if you've listened from the beginning, you'll know that I finally got to Crandon last year for the first time. But this place, it's up there as far as United States landmark racing facilities or events goes. I mean, Indianapolis 500, you always expect that Memorial Day weekend. Never disappoints. It is, as far as I'm concerned, the biggest motorsports event in the world, but definitely in the United States. I mean, you've got, other marquee events, 24 Hours of Daytona. I mean, obviously you've got Sebring in there too, but you've got, the Daytona 500, Mint 400, you look in Mexico, you got the Baja 1000, things like that. But, and there's a lot of Chili Bowl. Chili Bowl's another one. Definitely don't want to count out Chili Bowl. You've got this coming weekend. You've also got the Nationals there in Indianapolis for NHRA, Lucas Oil Nationals. That is it is the biggest. I believe it's Lucas Oil Nationals. I'm totally failing at this one. Anyways, Indianapolis, NHRA. Labor Day weekend, that is the big one, right? NHRA at Indianapolis. That's what you think it's U.S. Nationals. Is that what they call it? God, I'm failing at being a radio host for motorsports right now. But anyways, that's a big one for NHRA, But, and then you look at short course, and I mean, Crandon, it's been there 49 years, right? 49 years they've been running off-road races there. And just the history around that place and, being able to explore the place a few times now that I have been. This will be the third time I'm going there. And, and having all access. And, to me, it's like, as a guy, obviously, you got guys that get to call the Indy 500. You guys call the Daytona 500. And, and you go, for TV. And you go, man, those guys, that's like the pinnacle job, right? For a guy like me to get the nod, hey, you're going to be the host of the Crandon Off-Road World Championships and the Crandon Cup race. Like, to me, that's a big freaking deal. So I'm very, very excited, to be able to call this race. I mean, I know the live stream on Lucas Oil TV, it's going to be the biggest one of the year. We do the PA announcing, we call a live stream, and we call the TV show all at the same time. It's kind of bananas the way all that works out. But yeah, it's a big one. It's humbling for me, but for drivers, you ask anybody in short course, even guys that don't run that series, what's the one event you want to win? And they're all going to tell you Crandon. because Crandon, it's, they call it the big house for a reason, man. It's been there for 49 years. There's, to get that cup is a big deal. To get that world championship ring, it's a big deal. If you're a short course driver and you haven't got either one of those, there's something left that you haven't accomplished. It's just like being an off-road guy and never winning the Baja 1000. Like, if you haven't won the Baja 1000, it's just always out there, right? Doesn't matter how many wins, how many championships. If you don't get the big ones, just like NFL players, been some greats that never got a Super Bowl. And, and you ask them, and it's like, man, Hall of Famers never won the Super Bowl. It's like there was that one thing they weren't able to accomplish. So Crandon this weekend, super special event. Very, very much looking forward to going out there. I know Polaris Razor will be out there. Actually, I think General Tire will be too. I know my boys at Vision Wheel will be out there. But I'm getting ready to head out later this week. I'll be there for, I think, 5 days, flying Thursday, out on Monday. So if you're around, if you're going up there, make sure and say, hey. If you're not, tune in on Lucas Oil TV because you'll be able to hear me do all the commentary. We'll be live on Saturday and Sunday for the World Championship and the Cup races. So big weekend there at Crandon. I know the big one, though, is everybody wants to know what West Coast guys are going out there because that's always the other thing, right? This is the one event where East versus West. Now things are kind of getting a little more merged with the merger and Lucas Oil kind of handling both series now, but it's still a big one. You got guys that are on the West Coast series, guys that are on the East Coast series. They don't normally. Sometimes you'll get a few of the East Coast guys make the trip out to like Missouri to Wheatlands for that event, or at the end of the year. You've got guys, I know Keegan said in the past, he's going to try and go out to the final round in Chandler in his Pro 2. So you got the guys that make a few West Coast trips, and then you got the guys from the West Coast, they'll make the trip out to Crandon once a year. This year, I know confirmed, we got Bryce Menzies. He's already been out there testing. B-Money, it looked like he actually wrecked his truck at one point in testing, but he's been at Crandon. He's been burning laps around the track. He just had a phenomenal weekend last year. I don't know if he can repeat that, but it was insane. So Bryce Menzies, here's a heavy hitter for you. RJ Anderson is coming out. So RJ, we saw him in a UTV last year, but he's going to come out. I don't know if he's in his Pro 4, Pro 2. I don't know what he's racing, but his brother Ronnie is out there as well. So Ronnie Anderson is going to be there. Probably a lot of it has to do with Polaris being, big weekend sponsor. So RJ, Ronnie, Bryce Menzies, you've got them out there. Then you got Brian Deegan, who just took a win in Lucas Oil this past weekend. So you got Deegan making the trip out there. Deegan, a heavy hitter. And I'm sure Haley's going to come, so they're going to drag the Pro Light as well. So you got the Deegan family going to be making the trip. Then you've got Ryan Beat, he won the Cup race last year in Pro Light, I believe, or was it the World Championship? I can't remember. One of the two. So Beat, he is going back to defend his title. You got Corey Winter from the West Coast. He's been running full-time out in the Midwest this year, so Corey Winter's going to be out there. I'm just trying to think. You got Jason and Corey Weller. So on the UTV side, you got the Wellers going to be making the trip back to Crandon. So, and you want to talk about heavy hitters in UTVs, you can't not talk about Corey and Jason Weller, two people who are just ridiculously fast. And they've helped. Literally, those two have helped elevate short course UTV racing to where it's at today. So you've got both of them making the trip out there. I know I'm missing some people. I mean, I haven't even seen the entry list yet, but it's going to be the short course race of the year you don't want to miss. I'm fortunate enough, I get to see it live. But if you don't, go to Lucas Oil TV. You're going to be able to watch that. But this is the 49th anniversary, too, and they got a massive big money cup race. That's happening on Sunday. Sounds like the 50th anniversary. Next year, it's even going to be bigger. I think everybody from the West Coast, literally like just about every single person, is already budgeting in. They're going to be there for the 50th anniversary of Crandon. And from what I understand, I mean, it's always like 40, 50 grand to win the cup race. Sounds like they're trying to double the purse next year or something like that. Just bananas. But like Crandon, event that's been there 48, now 49 years, you would never thought that things could elevate even more. And it seems like every single year, Crandon just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. More people pack in. They put in more RV sites. They sell out. More people spread to towns around there trying to find a hotel room, trying to get a flight. People are driving across country to make it there. It's just absolutely bananas, man. And I'm just telling you, I'm excited about this. You guys should be too. If you're a listener to this show, you should be tuned in, locked in. I know I'm going to see a lot of you out of Crandon. Please come by and say, hey, I'll probably be stuck up in the TV booth a little bit, but I like to get out. I love to walk just through the crowds and the sea of people and just say hi to people. So much fun. But if you guys can't make it out, definitely Lucas Oil TV. They're going to have you locked and loaded this weekend. I'll be on there. Brent Smith, got Rob Klepper, Tiffany Stone may make an appearance or two. But it's going to be just an epic event. It is not one you want to miss at all. If you are even remotely a motorsports fan, you want to watch it. I don't even know why you're listening to this show. If you're even remotely a motorsports fan and you listen to this show, whoa, you must have stumbled on this way by mistake. But anyways, Crandon this weekend, we'll talk more about it. We got Keegan Kincaid coming up later in the show, but it is going to be a big one. So we're going to take a short break. We come back. I think we're going to dive into some talk about Connor Daly and his dad, Derek Daly, and the shenanigans that's going around there with his sponsorship thing. And I don't know. It's a bunch of crap, to be honest with you, but we're going to talk about it because it needs to be talked about here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by, you guessed it, Polaris Razor. Want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris Razor because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRazor.com or follow at Polaris Razor on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? Dirtfish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, Dirtfish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance, rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZ, Dirtfish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, Dirtfish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit Dirtfish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from Dirtfish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dirtfish Rally. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online, in syndication on networks across the U.S., and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
All right, welcome back here to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, and it is Jim Beaver here. If you're driving into town right now and you're listening to this radio show, you probably might need some auto parts, right? Well, I can tell you what, you're paying way too much for them. Ever since I discovered go-parts.com, it's goparts.com, but it's actually go-parts.com. I'm saving a ton of money on parts, and believe me, I go through a lot of auto parts. You know me and my shenanigans all the time. Now, I know what you're thinking. Jim, they're online. How is the customer service? Well, I had the same concerns you did until I used them. And believe me when I tell you, the service is second to none. In fact, 9 out of 10 customers polled said that not only would they use goparts.com again, but they'd also recommend GoParts to their friends and family. Look, they've been around for more than a decade, so they know what they're doing. GoParts, this is why we wrench. That's go-parts.com, go-parts.com. Check them out. You'll be glad you did at goparts.com. All right. Thank you, GoParts, for the continued support, and I am actually truly a user of their service. Definitely go over there. We got a coupon code being dropped this week to net you, I believe, like 10% off your purchase at goparts.com. So any auto parts, man, it's great. Boom. Order them, ship direct to your door. Never have to go to the auto parts store. So always good stuff. So one of the big, storylines coming out of motorsports this past week and a half, would be my man, Connor Daly. And Connor's been a guest on this show, I don't know at this point, a lot. That's the easiest way to put it, right? Probably 5-6 times maybe. I know Connor well. Enough that I would text him or whatever, not like we're close friends and hang out, but I know him well. So I'm partial to Connor when I say this is what I'm telling you, but I'm going to try and do it. Actually, I'm not going to try and do it from a neutral position because it's total crap. Why would I try and do that? So basically what happened, it's all over racer.com. It's all over every place that covers motorsports. Even Sarah Palin shared this story. I mean, Sarah Palin, she shared this story. So when you've got the former governor of Alaska, I guess running mate to John McCain, and by the way, I say John McCain, and as an Arizona boy, mad respect for John McCain. Definitely going to miss that guy. I know we don't get into politics, but he was one of the good ones. Let's just put it that way. So definitely think about John McCain, the whole family right now, for sure. And that's me being human here, like for reals. Good people. Big fan of his daughter's work and just the family as a whole. John he did some great things for the state of Arizona. Let's put it that way, and the country. So, anyways, everybody's getting behind, on this Connor Daly. I don't want to call it bandwagon, right? Because Connor was just wrong. So, what it amounts to is way back in 1983, right? I was 3 years old. Yep, 3 years old. Had to think there, right? That was a lot of beers ago. 1983. His dad, Derek Daly, was being interviewed by Larry Henry on WIBC. And basically, he used a quote that is a taboo word. Lots of rappers use it, but definitely not one that anybody else should be using. I think what I'm saying. It starts with an N, something that I don't say, and nobody should at this point in time ever. But he was Irish, right? And he's from Ireland. He was coming over here, and he honestly had no idea what he'd said. Things are different over there, and we're talking about the days prior to internet, prior to social media, prior to people in Europe. They knew the United States, they knew the big storylines that went on and things like that, but we didn't have this cross culture. I mean, if something got popular in Europe, it may have taken years or decades to come over here. And I'm not saying this word was popular in the United States. What I'm saying is that things weren't instantaneous like they are now. Things spread very, very slowly then. And we're talking about 1983, and I'm not even talking about 30s and 40s. I'm just saying, it was still without social media and the instantaneous things. I mean, you could still make phone calls, right? But you were talking about $9 a minute. And now you've got everything's just so quick. So it was just one of those things where he said it honestly, he didn't know what he said when he did, and they told him, hey, you don't say that here. Boom. The guy never said the word again. Totally. And when you look at the quote, it was taken out of context. Like, you could tell he didn't even know what he was saying because it really didn't make a whole lot of sense. I'm siding with Derek Daly on this because since then, I mean, the guy has had dinner with Muhammad Ali. He's a very, very close friend of Willie T. Ribbs, who is an absolute legend. I would love to get on the show at some point in time, by the way. But Willie T., has gone out and since this, he's gone to bat for Derek Daly and said, hey, look, man, like Derek was one of the few guys that actually embraced me. He was one of the few guys that actually said, come on, supported him, brought him up. And so, when you got a guy like Willie T., as far as I'm concerned, that dude's got credibility, right? And he's saying, look, Derek's a good dude. So all this goes on. He's been in broadcasting, everything. 35 years go by, right? Like 7 or 8 years after that, he has Connor, his son, right? Connor wasn't even born when this happened. And that thing, it was like, boom, done, over, never happened again. Derek's had this great career with television, broadcasting, racing. Here he is, and he's a former racer and he's trying to get by, right? You pick up media work, look at me, right? I'm hosting a radio show. So I get it. His son's racing now, and we know Connor, he had that deal with AJ Foyt. Foyt's cars weren't so good, lost his ride. He raced Indy 500 this year, qualified in through bump day. Things didn't go great, but he was there. He raced. He's had a great stint with Harding. But he had this original deal with Lilly Diabetes to do the Indy 500 and do a NASCAR Xfinity race. Well, anyways, somebody in infinite wisdom dug through 35 years old worth of stuff and brought this deal out about Derek Daly. So immediately Derek Daly gets fired from his job. Why, I have no idea. This guy's body of work, I mean, it far outweighs some word he may have said 4 decades ago. But anyways, so, and then they go a step further, Lilly, because Derek is Connor's dad, they decide they aren't going to sponsor him at this Xfinity race a few days later. And poor Connor, like, this kid's never done anything. I mean, he was on The Amazing Race. Everybody loves him. Everybody will go to bat for this kid. The Dalys, all in all, everybody will go to bat for him. Nobody has a problem with the Daly family, Derek or Connor. Now Connor's without a ride for this NASCAR race. And, the thing is like Connor's got diabetes. This is actually sponsorship that makes sense in motorsport. And somehow he got released. They said, no, Roush, we're not sponsoring him. He loses his deal. Here's poor Connor, who this kid is grinding it out. He's trying to make a career in auto racing. This kid is trying to make ends meet. He is doing everything he can. Every single chance he gets behind the wheel, this kid has a chip on his shoulder. He's driving the freaking wheels off these cars. He is trying to make a career. He's grasping. He was there. He was with Foyt. He had a full-time ride. He knows what that's like. He wants it back. He's fighting. He's struggling. He's scraping by. He's got that grit of a race car driver trying to make it happen. And then all of a sudden, Lily's like, oh, yeah, your dad said something 4 decades ago, so we're not going to sponsor you. Well, to Roush's credit, Roush said, nah, that's crap. Roush put him behind the wheel of the car. He had a good showing until they had some mechanicals. Qualified pretty well in his first ever Xfinity race. Did pretty solid all in all. I was stoked on how Connor did. It was a mechanical. If not, he had a real legit shot at a top 10. So to their credit, Roush did right by Connor Daly, and I think he did enough that, it proved, hey, I can be behind the wheel. But after all is said and done, the people who are getting the backlash, it is a TV network that let Derek go, and it is Lilly Diabetes for what they did to Connor. There was absolutely no reason for that whatsoever. And rightfully so, they are getting an absolute ton of backlash right now, over the way they released him. And the way I think this deal is going to play out, it's going to backfire tenfold on Lilly, because Connor is a good race car driver. He's had some struggles, and we all know that just like Matty Brabs, who's racing Stadium Super Trucks, and he's not an IndyCar. It's not always about talent. It's sometimes about the funding and, and the connections and the business-to-business stuff. And we know that's how racing works now, to an extent. And I think Connor's going to get a sponsor that comes in and said, no, this kid is good. we feel like you were wronged. We're going to help support you, and you're going to go racing. I'm hoping that is what happens here. That's what should happen. If I had money, I'd throw it at Connor Daly. Hands down, no problem at all. I trust this kid. I'd have him representing my brand. But it just a bunch of crap, man. Shame on Lily. This is what happens in PC America. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't be politically correct. I'm just saying we've taken politically correct to a level that shouldn't be there whatsoever. I mean, this was a mistake 35 years ago by a guy. He's righted that wrong tenfold, hundredfold by now. And, and now we're going to penalize him. And then to make it worse, you're going to go and penalize his son who wasn't even born then. How in the hell does that even make sense? No idea. I have absolutely no idea how that makes sense, but I don't know. I hope Derek Daly gets a better job than he had before, and I hope Connor gets a full-time ride with somebody because they both deserve it, and that is pretty much all I got to say about that. I haven't gone on a rant here on the show in a long time, but we did today. But we're going to take a short break, and Greg Biffle, he is going to be on the line with us when we come back right here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it. So when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. It's more than just a slogan. Anywhere is possible with General Tire. General Tire's Grabber X3 mud terrain tire offers aggressive styling and is engineered for durability with innovative performance features that are ready to carry you through extreme mud, dirt, and rock-covered terrain. For extreme traction that's ready for anything and rugged styling to match, look no further than the Grabber X3 from General Tire. Make your anywhere possible by visiting GeneralTire.com today. General Tire, aggressive styling with the Down and Dirty Radio Show since 2012. Hey, this is Jim Beaver, host of the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Getting down and dirty on the racetrack is all fun and games until it's time to get the dirt off. I know it all too well, which is why I partnered with MotoShield Pro, the leaders in nanotechnology solutions on the racetrack and in off-road to combat mud and dirt buildup on my vehicles. MotoShield Pro keeps us from taking unnecessary damage and spending extra energy on cleaning. No matter the weather or the surface, having proper protection on all my vehicles saves me plenty of reprep time in a sport where every second counts. Prep your vehicle like a pro. Learn more at MotoShieldPro.com. Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Like what you hear? Catch all the back episodes of the Down and Dirty Radio Show on Apple Podcast, and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'd like to welcome my General Tire teammate, Mr. Greg Biffle, to the line. How is everything going, my man?
That's going great. I'm having a good time and getting ready to go to St. Anthony, Idaho for UTV Invasion, and just got done running a stadium super truck race, so life is good right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's almost like I forget that you're this NASCAR legend because you're so far in the off-road space now. It's like, man, I mean, you're doing stuff with General Tire, you're racing stadium super trucks, you've been involved in UTVs. I mean, we know about, Glamis and your buggies and stuff like that. I mean, you've really embraced the off-road culture.
I have, growing up since I was young, I got my first motorcycle when I was 5 years old. So I've been, if it burns gas or has a steering wheel or handlebars, I've been on it and been part of it my whole life. So definitely the off-road thing, plays right into my alley. I bought my first sand car right after I won the Xfinity Championship, and ever since then I've just been, in love with. I'm mostly the sand. I have to admit, I haven't done a lot of desert stuff, but mostly the sand for me.
Yeah. Well, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but I want to talk about this past weekend because I know here about a week ago, Robbie posted up on, I think it was Instagram, some teasers that you were testing a stadium super truck. And then all of a sudden I was like, well, if you're in there testing, you're at some point going to be in a race. Well, boom, a few days later, you're racing one at Road America. How did that whole deal get put together?
Well, I'll tell you, it came together quick. Actually, Casey Mears called me and told me he was going to go do this race at Road America. They were short a couple guys. Ari Lyondike had some Honda commitments and some other TV commitments and was unable to make it, and they needed somebody to drive his truck. And so, I thought about it. I gave it some thought. I hadn't been behind the wheel in a, competitive race and really since I hung up my helmet at the end of 16, and Robbie's bugged me long enough, I thought it was, I just felt like it was time to go see what it was about, and I went down to Robbie's shop and checked out the trucks, and I knew they were going to, Road Atlanta. The unfortunate part, I would think that, I'd have some experience at a track they're going to go to that NASCAR races at, but the Xfinity started going to Road America after I was in the Cup Series. So I never got to race Road America until, obviously, this past weekend. So it was new for me all the way around. First time in the truck, first time at this racetrack, and, man, I had a blast.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess in your first weekend of racing, you come away with a podium, man, in Stadium Super Truck. And I look at the list. I mean, you mentioned Robbie, Casey Mears. I mean, Matty Brabs, that kid is rocket. He's got a bunch of young guns in the series. That's a statement to come away with a podium in your first weekend.
Yeah, it was. And I was chasing down Matty at the end of that thing. If I knew that big track just a little bit better, it's funny because those young guys, and even Robbie, I could still see I need some more experience behind the wheel. They're a little faster than me through some of the short, tighter stuff and over the jumps, but we got to that big racetrack and I started running these guys down, because that's sort of my background.
Yeah.
So I just had a lot of fun. I learned a lot. That's the key. With anything, you go racing for the first time, is come away with some knowledge and some experience, and I was able to do that, following these guys, Hildebrand and Brabham. I mean, those guys are very, very good, and Jeff, all of them. I learned a bit from all of them, from Robbie, and I kind of put that experience together from the practice session to the short first race on Friday to actually the end of the race on Saturday.
Yeah, well, and, you're a guy who's done a lot of stock car stuff. I know you and I have talked in the past. You've gone to, you did the 24 hours of Daytona and some road racing. But Robbie sets these trucks up where they're a bit loose. They got a lot of body roll and they're a bit loose. They're not quite as tight as a proper race car. Not that they couldn't be. It's just he sets them up that way on purpose. I mean, was there any did you have to adapt to driving a truck like that that's set up a little bit looser?
There's several things I had to adapt to. I drive a fairly loose race car. That was my MO when I was in NASCAR. The name of my boat was a little loose. So that's the way I like to drive the car. I like it turning good. is really the way I like it. So, the things I had to get used to is the truck is short wheelbase and doesn't really like to turn. So you have to turn it a bit with the back of the truck. The other thing is how quick the steering is. I've never driven anything with steering as quick as this. It's a 1-to-1 steering. The quickest steering I ever raced in NASCAR was 8-to-1. So, typically we would race a 12-to-1 or 14-to-1 steering box. 8-to-1 was quick. We'd use that on a short track. So here we are going 150 miles an hour at Road Atlanta or Road America with a 1-to-1 steering box. So, and I struggled the most with the jumps going straight off the jump because you had to be so precise with the steering wheel that if I was off an eighth of an inch or quarter inch on the steering wheel, the thing would fly sideways. And it's a pretty high-speed, long jump. So the thing would get really out of shape quick. And so those are the things I had to adapt to and learn from over the weekend.
Yeah, well, and talking about those jumps, I know Matty Brabham's told me about the first time he hit him, and, he's coming from an IndyCar and road racing background and things like that. And, I mean, there's one of those where at some point you got to feel like you're just going for it. It's like, man, stuff's going to happen. I don't know, but, because, like you said, you're hitting those ramps, those steel ramps, and they're not forgiving, and you're hitting them wide open. It's that first time you hit it that's got to be just a little bit of a wild experience.
It was a wild experience for me, and trust me, I was not hitting them wide open until the final 4 laps of the race on Saturday when it was go time, and you got to take care of your equipment, your brakes, and the truck. And I would roll up out of the throttle and kind of set the nose and run off them. And those guys were hitting them just pinned flat, never lifting. And so, I could tell. I went back and watched in-car, and I watched some video of it, and I could see where they were technique. They were I picked up a lot by doing that. And so those last 4 laps, I was flat off the end of the jumps with those guys, and it is kind of hairy. I'll admit it takes a lot, because as you approach the jump, as you're 100 feet back, you can see everything. But when you're 10 feet from it, you can see nothing but the jump because you can't see over it.
Yeah.
So you're looking right at the face of the jump, and it's kind of intimidating because you don't know what's on the other side of it. Even though know it's bare racetrack, it's still intimidating.
Dang. So here's the question. I mean, you've done it. You've got a podium. I got to feel you're kind of hooked on it. Are we going to see you at some point back behind the wheel of one of these again? Maybe even like one like at Glen Helen where it's all dirt?
Yeah, I think so. I really, really enjoyed the big track and the pavement because that's sort of my background.
Yeah.
I enjoy the dirt as well. But I could see myself like it, maybe Long Beach Grand Prix or, some place where it's kind of like what we did this weekend. I think I would find a lot of fun in that. And then these guys are just really raving about Australia, Gold Coast, or something like that. They said the track over there or the setup is amazing. So I've never been out of the country over on that end of the world, so maybe make one of those trips.
Nice. Well, talking about this coming weekend, though, you mentioned UTV Invasion. I know, we got, I know here on the West Coast, we got Sand Sports Camp Razor coming up a couple months out. So I'm already gearing up for sand season and UTV season. Sounds like you are too. What's on tap for you at UTV Invasion?
Well, I'm bringing my hot rod 4-seat Polaris car. They're having a shootout hill race on Saturday, so definitely that's going to be the kind of the highlight of the weekend. But we're really just coming out to do some duning and do the hill shot shootout race, and just pretty much enjoy the sand. Try and sell a few cars. We're still building onesie twosies, the Pace Off Road brand, and we've got a new bracket made for the turbo transmission to adapt to the Z1 engine. and that's kind of our specialty is the Z1. But gosh, the Polaris engine is, guys got flashes and turbos and all those things for those things. So they're pretty robust now as well.
Yeah, I know when you guys first started doing it, it was like it was a necessity, to do that swap. And now it's like the engines, I don't want to say have caught up with what you guys are doing, but they've definitely made some big inroads.
Oh, they definitely have. The thing that the Z1 still has is no replacement for displacement. So it's just a bigger engine to start with. And so that gives it an advantage, and that's really the only thing. The Polaris engine is a great engine. And, I'm toying with the idea of doing some stuff with that engine we do a methanol blend on the fuel. So when you want to turn the boost up, the biggest problem is when you want to turn the boost up, you got to have good gas. Yeah. And so gas, race fuel is expensive, and you only want to shoot up the hill or run it hard a couple times, and then you're back to duning again. So the new build we've developed is it transitions just off a boost to a different fuel. So as it sees the boost level go beyond what the fuel's capable of doing, we start spraying methanol over top of the fuel and then eventually transition all the way to methanol. So it's simply just an auxiliary tank and fuel pump we put in the vehicle. So I'm toying with the idea of doing that with the stock Polaris engine, the turbo engine, obviously.
Yeah, it's an on-demand type of thing.
Yep, it's on demand. It runs clean, smooth. It has worked out beyond my wildest dreams. So reliable, never hiccups, never misses, never does anything. And, man, I mean, never would I have thought it was going to run as good as it does and reliable as it does. It makes it so much more enjoyable. My original cars had a switch on the dash where you just switch to the race gas, make a few blasts, switch it back, go on about your business, because we have the 3-position boost switch. But now you can eliminate all that. You can still have the 3-position switch, but you don't have to worry about the fuel anymore.
And we have a lot more with Greg Biffle in this interview. But to get it, you're going to have to watch or tune in to Project Action this week, my other show. That's right. You can get that on iTunes as well or on the Down and Dirty Radio Show website. But subscribe on iTunes. Easiest and best place to get it. Also on Podcast One. But kind of the director's cut. We got probably another 10 minutes with Greg Biffle that we can get to, but you guys are going to have to get that this Thursday on Project Action on Podcast One. So thanks to Greg, though. Amazing effort by him. Thanks to General Tire for helping set that up, and looking forward to shredding some dunes with Greg, this fall out there at Glamis. I think he'll be out at Sandsport Super Show as well. So lots of fun times with Mr. Biffle, and we are going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to wrap up hour number 1 and look forward to hour number 2. We got Street Bike Tommy, Keegan, Kincaid, and a whole lot more coming at you here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on 4 wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris Razor because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRazor.com or follow at Polaris Razor on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story. When looking for a new wheel for your off-road vehicle, car, truck, or UTV, the choice is easy. You choose what the pros use. Rob McCachran, Keegan Kincaid, and myself, Jim Beaver, all exclusively use Vision Wheel, whether we're dominating Baja, taking the cup at Crandon, or shredding UTVs. Vision Wheel's trend-setting designs and durability will set you apart from the competition and your friends. Check out visionwheel.com or at Vision Wheel on social media to learn more. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. Anywhere is possible. It's more than just a slogan. Anywhere is possible with General Tire's wide variety of tires for whatever it is that you drive. Whether you're looking for off-road capability balanced with impressive on-road performance or ultra-high performance offering all-season traction designed with a driving enthusiast in mind, General Tire has what you need to get where you're going. General Tire, providing anywhere is possible with the Down and Dirty Radio Show since 2012.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for, no fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners and for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island, the best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online, in syndication on networks across the U.S., and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here. We're getting ready to wrap up hour number one. It's been an eventful hour number one. Greg Biffle on the line. Always fun catching up with him. Make sure and catch up, I guess, on the rest of his interview on Project Action, dropping this Thursday on Podcast One, my website, and iTunes. And then we talked a little bit about Crandon, a lot about Connor Daly and his current situation that was definitely not his fault. But if you want to catch up on even more motorsports news, content, rumors, and everything else, make sure and head over to downanddirtyshow.com. It is going to be your source for all things motorsports. We had a guy on site, Josh Tons at St. Louis. He was shooting with Schmidt-Peterson Motorsport. We've got that gallery up on the website right now. My friend Chris Leone, who writes for the site and handles all of my media, he did an amazing article on his experience at Vegas to Reno. We've got a bunch of stuff, IndyCar, off-road. We're going to be doing a ton of Crandon content this week. So make sure and keep it locked and loaded right there on the website for all the latest happenings in your favorite motorsports. Also, this show, I want to ask you guys, obviously I've got my other show, Project Action. I already asked you to go subscribe. If you're listening, I don't know how you're listening to this. We're so many places right now. It's kind of crazy. But actually, we just updated our cover art yesterday. So hopefully you guys have seen that on iTunes. We also posted it to Instagram and stuff like that. Finally got some new cover art. Feel like it gives a good feel to the show going forward. But with that new cover art, make sure you go over to iTunes, subscribe to the show, leave a rating or a review. If you leave a rating or review, leave your Twitter, Instagram @username in the review on iTunes. I will see it and I will follow you back. So when you hit subscribe, they've got the 5 stars. You can rate us 1 through 5. I don't care. But down on the bottom, if you leave your Twitter, Instagram @username, I will follow you back. That's how I know that you reviewed, rated, and if you left your name, that's how you get a follow from me on social media. So I don't know, I don't know. We've actually made some big inroads with our ratings lately. I think we're up to 150 something, and we were at 120. So literally in the past couple of weeks, things have kind of finally, I'm saying stuff and people are actually listening. Wow, man, it's crazy. But thank you guys for all the support of the show. We are going to take a short break. And then when we come back, we're going to kick off hour number 2. We're going to be talking some pro motocross. Street Bike Tommy's calling in, Keegan Kincaid, and a whole lot more here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online, in syndication on networks across the U.S., and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
Welcome back here to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, kicking off hour number 2, and yeah, it's going to be a fun hour number 2. So coming up, we're going to be talking pro motocross and talking about MX of Nations. Travis Pastrana, have some big news coming out of that camp. I actually texted with Trav earlier this week. But also, I had that all planned out, and I just got an email. And, it's one of those things in this industry where I get a lot of stuff, and I'm asked to just sit on it and things like that, and it's not ready to release, but they just arm me with the ammo. So when it is, I can talk about it. Such is the case today. I just saw a press release hit my phone as we were on air, and that means I can talk about it. But our good friends over there at UTV Underground, Mad Media on the Mint 400 UTV World Championship behind XP1K. Joey D, the founder of UTV Underground, is leaving the company. Matt Martelli taking over, and Joey D going on to bigger and better things. So I'm going to read through that press release, and we'll talk about it in the next segment here after this next commercial break. But I got to read through the press release, kind of see everything that's in there before I can kind of dissect it. But man, that is, if you're an off-road fan, that is some blockbuster news, man. One of the leading outlets, is changing hands. So we'll dive into that and chat on that here in just a bit, man. That's some big stuff. And Street Bike Tommy's pinging me as we're on air too, and he's up there at Dirtfish just having all kinds of fun. I love Dirtfish. Tommy's up there at Dirtfish. We had Antron and Steve Torrance up there a couple weeks ago. I love placing my friends at Dirtfish because everybody has fun. They have a blast. Like, I've never had one friend that went up to Dirtfish that ever wasn't just absolutely stoked on things. So looking forward to that interview with Tommy that I recorded yesterday and dropping that. But like I said, he's texting me as we speak. But for those of you looking for a Dirtfish coupon code, I guess I'll throw it out there, but it's JB Dirtfish. That'll get you 15% off at Dirtfish Rally School. So if you're looking for a discount, you want to go to Dirtfish, use JB Dirtfish, and it'll net you a grand total of 15% off, which is actually quite a bit of money. So thank me later. Go and buy yourself. There's actually some really rad restaurants around there. So give yourself a cold beverage and I don't know. They got a place that's like all you can eat ribs on Tuesday nights. I think they prep all week. They actually take Monday off to have these all you can eat ribs, and it's just phenomenal. You eat like a caveman when you're there. It's rad. Love that place. Can't remember what it's called, but it's real close to Dirtfish, and they can point you in the right direction. But we're going to take a short break. We come back talking pro motocross here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. You want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris RZR because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRZR.com or follow at Polaris RZR on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story. Whether you're looking for a tire that balances high performance responsiveness and traction in wet and light snow conditions, excellent handling and traction in wet and dry conditions, or a summer performance tire designed with the driving enthusiast in mind, General Tire has you covered. From the all-new G-Max RS to the Grabber ATX, no matter what you drive, General Tire will get you where you're going. Learn more at GeneralTire.com. General Tire, cruising with the Down and Dirty Radio Show since 2012.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for, no fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners and for trick riders, a double side kicker and a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island, the best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online, in syndication on networks across the U.S., and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
And we are back here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. And I just wanted to give another quick shout-out. We talked about them earlier in the show, but if you need parts, you need to go to GoParts.com. I'm saving a ton of money on parts, and believe me, I go through a lot of them, like I said earlier. So if you guys are looking for auto parts and you need them quick and easy, the best place to do is go to GoParts.com. GoParts, this is why we wrench. That's go-parts.com. Check them out. You'll be glad that you did. Thanks to our friends at Go Parts. And, so I talked about things right there before the break. Our good friends at Mad Media, the Martellis. And I'm just kind of reading through this press release here. And, I know what Matt had told me a while back, but so I guess it's official as of today. Matt Martelli, he is taking the wheel as the new CEO of UTV Underground. Mad Media, Matt and his brother Josh have been highly, highly involved with UTV Underground for quite a few years. I mean, this makes sense. I mean, Joey D and Matt kind of steered that ship. Joey's kind of the figurehead, but Matt helped behind the scenes a lot. Matt, definitely, guy proper to take the reins. Things will be phenomenal. I think if you're a fan of them and the events and things like that, nothing's going to change. Big news, though. Joey D, he's taking a job at Trans-American Parts, which is basically four-wheel parts. He's taking the job there for social media, web, digital content. I guess it's called Director of Creative Marketing and Social Media, Trans-American Auto Parts. So Trans-American Auto Parts is actually owned by Polaris, and they've also got UTV Underground Garage. So there's actually a lot of there's a lot of actual tie-ins there. So I think you're still going to see Joey D at events and things like that. But some big news coming out of the off-road industry this morning for sure. So definitely one. I wasn't expecting that one quite yet, but I guess with Sand Sports Show, which is a big one, and then kind of the kickoff to fall season, like it makes sense. Like UTV, our off season is in the summer. So, getting things fired up and ready to rock for, this upcoming, dunes and desert season for UTVs here in the Southwest. I see other parts of the country, UTV season is like during the summer. For us in the Southwest, man, we park those things in the summer and we get them fired up for the winter. So, that was some big news. We'll try and get Matt on the show next week for a chat, kind of find out what's going on with him and that whole deal, and get down to business with Matt Martelli. We'll see if we can snag him. But we wanted to talk about some pro motocross. We haven't talked about it much at all this year, and it's kind of a fail on my part. I had a great championship battle. One for, I don't want to say one for the record books, but it was one, it was one like we hadn't seen in a long time, right? Basically, Tomac and Marvin Musquin going down to the wire for the championship. Went down to the Ironman National this past weekend. And, and it ended up, I think, like Marvin had a pretty decent gap, or Tomac, had a pretty decent gap over Marvin. But Marvin still had that outsider chance to take it if, Tomac had a mechanical or a fall, or for some odd reason, I don't know. You know what I mean? But anyways, Tomac ended up clinching everything, and Marvin ended up in second in the championship. Marvin actually had better results at Ironman, narrowed the gap just a hair, finishing taking a 4 and a 3. Tomac had a 2 and a 9. Tomac, I can tell you already, taking a 9th in that second moto, he was phoning it in. He was not risking anything. He was like, oh yeah, we'll just kind of phone it in here. But Barsha with the win, and Roxon finishing up in second at Ironman. But overall results, like I said before, it was Tomac followed by Marvin 1 and 2. So Tomac, first guy to repeat in quite some time in outdoors, back to back, man. That's big. It's huge. I've always said, it feels like, outdoors always kind of play second fiddle to Supercross, which I think they do. So, a lot of guys sometimes will take the outdoors off and things like that. Lucas Oil does a great job with the TV, but it's like, I don't know, in the wintertime, like Supercross is like, it's Saturday nights, it's on TV. Like, I know, where I'm at, like people gather around, we barbecue, watch Supercross. It's just kind of the way things are, right? Fantasy Supercross leagues just become a big deal. But looking at 250s, it was Plessinger and Hampshire 1-2. Chase Sexton finishing up in the third spot. But looking at the final point standings on the year, it was Plessinger with the championship. Alex Martin second, and Justin Cooper finishing up there in third. My boy Shane McElrath, he was fifth. Hampshire was fourth. So, I don't know. It's one of those. We kind of wrap up now. We got, we got about a month and a half off. And then we roll into Monster Energy Cup. So these guys, that's the big one, right? Everybody wants that $1 million payday. You got the 250 guys that run in 450 for that. Sometimes, just big money event. Everybody wants it. They want in. They want that paycheck. I think there's a new truck involved and a bunch of other stuff too. So, and it's that weird one-off event, no points, no nothing. It put it all on the line. A lot of guys, like if you're a big-name guy and you finish fifth in the first one, boom, they pull out. They're like, I'm not even going to run the rest of them. So sometimes you get an interesting character that has a real good shot at winning the whole thing just because somebody pulled out early and the competition actually drops as you get further in sometimes. So I don't know, it's just that weird event, but definitely looking forward to Monster Energy Cup. It's always kind of the window into what's to happen in the following year's Supercross kickoff at A1. So looking forward to that. That coming up in October as well. I don't know, is Red Bull Straight Rhythm back? I haven't been looking. I don't know. That's always comes up in October as well. It's right around Off-Road Expo time or mid-October. I don't know. I haven't even looked, but hopefully Straight Rhythm's back. Always makes it interesting. But speaking of interesting, we've got to talk about Motocross of Nations. And there's been some shenanigans. So Pastrana wanted to run. He had a team. They were all going to do it on 2 strokes. And they were going to represent Puerto Rico. So the loophole with MX of Nations is Puerto Rico basically is a U.S. territory. So if you don't qualify in for the U.S., you can always say, hey, I'm with Puerto Rico. And, and then you can get in that way. It's kind of like this loophole with MX and Nations where additional riders can go and represent Puerto Rico, right? So Pastrana, being that he's a class act that he was going to have, it was going to be Pastrana, it was going to be Ryan Sipes, and it was going to be Ronnie Mack. If you know Ronnie Mack, he's this fictional figure that does crazy stuff on motorcycles and things like that. Real rumor is there's 2 or 3 guys that represent Ronnie Mack. You never know who's wearing the helmet, but it's just another story. But anyways, it's going to be them 3. There's big shenanigans about Ronnie Mack can't compete. It's all for fun because what they're basically doing is they're going to generate money for Puerto Rico. It's going to go to help the storm victims. And so I thought it was a great thing. Anyways, a bunch of, guys that, wear a suit and tie decided that, I'm trying to say it nicely, they didn't want Ronnie Mack in. So Ronnie Mack got punted. Travis Pastrana was looking for somebody else. Kevin Windham jumps in. So Kevin Windham is now teammates with Pastrana and Ryan Sipes at Motocross Nations. And I got to say, this is actually a pretty formidable team. They're going to be doing it on 2 strokes. I think Wyndham's actually going to be running a 4-stroke maybe. I need to look farther into this. But they've already raised over $15,000 in funds through merchandise sales that are going to benefit Puerto Rico. So it's and if you want to help out, it's teampuertorico2018.com. But to me, that's it's pretty rad news. So solid team. Pastrana going to be back on a dirt bike racing Motocross of Nations. He was part of that team way back in I think the early 2000s that actually won Motocross of Nations. So back when he was in, I think, was it 125 days? Whatever. I can't remember. It's too long ago. But I know Pastrana was part of a U.S. winning team at one point, Motocross of Nations. But that's coming up. I text with Trav. He's going to keep me in the loop on all things. We're going to help support this because, dude, these guys kind of got a raw deal on this thing. So I'll keep you guys in the loop as I know more as well. But check it out. It is teampuertorico2018.com. All your support will help go to the storm victims there in Puerto Rico. So we are going to take a short break. We come back. My man, Street Bike Tommy, he's going to be on the line here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on 4 wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris Razor because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRazor.com or follow at Polaris Razor on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story. Looking to have some fun on 4 wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Hey, this is Jim Beaver, host of the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Getting down and dirty on the racetrack is all fun and games until it's time to get the dirt off. I know it all too well, which is why I partnered with MotoShield Pro, the leaders in nanotechnology solutions on the racetrack and in off-road to combat mud, dirt buildup on my vehicles. MotoShield Pro keeps us from taking unnecessary damage and spending extra energy on cleaning. No matter the weather or the surface, having proper protection on all my vehicles saves me plenty of reprep time in a sport where every second counts. Prep your vehicle like a pro. Learn more at MotoShieldPro.com. Whether you're looking for a tire that balances high-performance responsiveness and traction in wet and light snow conditions, excellent handling and traction in wet and dry conditions, or a summer performance tire designed with the driving enthusiast in mind, General Tire has you covered. From the all-new G-Max RS to the Grabber ATX, no matter what you drive, General Tire will get you where you're going. Learn more at GeneralTire.com. General Tire, cruising with the Down and Dirty Radio Show since 2012.
Like what you hear? Catch all the back episodes of the Down and Dirty Radio Show on Apple Podcast, and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Got my main man, Street Bike Tommy, on the line. Who, dude, you were at my home away from home, and it kind of snuck up on me. But you're up there at Dirtfish, playing some rally car stuff, man. How is that going, buddy?
Well, it's funny because I was actually just in the area. I was doing a catering job in Oregon with my new food truck, and Molly hit me up from Dirtfish and said, "Why don't you come on up for a 3-day course?" And you ain't got to tell me twice.
Well, see, and I gotta say, they've had a lot of people through that school. Some really proper guys like Pastrana and Higgins. But I think you're the very first ever undefeated rally car driver to come through the school.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you come through as a champion. You kind of got to try to remain humble. It's kind of hard, but, you got to do it.
Yeah, dude, I should have told him, I'm like, dude, I need to be your voice. I need to be your agent or something like that, because we should have spun this whole deal with Dirtfish. And, they got these days where, like, David Higgins comes and trains drivers and stuff like that. I'm like, dude, but Higgins isn't undefeated. Street Bike Tommy is.
Yes, he is undefeated. No, I'm actually learning a lot, man. It's day one, and I'm already. I've never, not that I've never. I don't left foot brake that much, and that's all we did today. Like I felt like I was just driving with my pedals, and it's been extremely helpful already.
Well, and I know you do a lot of driving at Travs. Well, just with Nitro in the past, I mean, you've driven a lot of crap, a lot of Razors, stuff like that. You have done a lot. I know at one point you had that competition at Travs where didn't KB and Vaughn came and trained you, right?
Yeah, man. Well, they gave me pointers. Yeah.
But I know you've done a lot. I know we set up that deal, and you went and raced at Rally America, and you were really humble. I mean, you won that, but like you had said, you're like, nah, Kiana actually won it, and then there was some weird deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's a transit rule where she broke the speed limits in transit pretty bad, and it was like a big, pretty big deficit she had to make up. And, I was under the impression that all I wanted to do was podium, so I was kind of trying to, be reserved and take care of the car. But like, she was trying to catch me that whole time, and she actually almost did. So hats off to Kiana, because she's a hell of a competitor, and she's really, really fast. So, I mean, I was extremely lucky to actually come off with that podium. But I mean, and give myself some credit, I actually did really well.
Dude,
but
you
yeah,
did. You were solid.
I love stage rally, man. It's so fun.
Yeah. Well, and see, that's what I'm saying. Like, you've done stage rallies. You won it regardless. You were podium that thing. But now you go to Dirtfish. How is that? Because you've got some driving skill. I mean, and I know I go up there, and I've driven a ton of stuff. And I go up there, and then it's like, oh, man, like, I'm like, I do so much stuff wrong. And it's like you realize how it humbles you going to Dirtfish, because, like, man, I've been doing this stuff wrong all along. And I thought I was fast, but I'm so much faster now.
Yeah, and the thing is like, it's all about, like, okay, so I've driven a lot of stuff, and, like, that's where I get my speed from, is just kind of seat time. But to actually hear somebody tell you what it is that you're doing and why you're going fast, or, the exact opposite, or, like, what you're doing and why you're going slow here, and then you pick up speed. You pick up seconds at this place, man. Like, just doing a couple corners today, you pick up seconds of speed just by somebody explaining to you what it is that you're doing wrong or you could be better at.
Yeah, well, I know with me, like, I leave those classes, and I leave my training up there, and it's funny because you get in the car and you're just like pitching it into corners if you're me, and like you feel cool. You feel like Kim Block, right? You're like, oh man, I'm Jim Connor here, and dude, they're like, no, you barely need to move your hands. And then I get done and I'm like, I'm going so much faster, but dude, it doesn't feel like I'm going fast at all because I'm barely moving, and it's just like driving Miss Daisy,
Right. When you're doing it right, it doesn't feel fast.
Yeah, so I feel like I need that knob, like the school bus knob, you know what I mean? And like you feel really fast when you're doing that with the steering wheel, but it's so slow.
Yeah, I got a bad habit of letting go of it completely. Letting it free spin,
Oh, dude, just letting it slide through the hands of guys like, no.
Yeah, he's like, grab the wheel. What are you doing?
Oh, dude, who are you riding with today? Because I know all those boys up there. I'm sure, dude, they're having a ride with you in the car, though, I bet.
Yeah, dude. Kevin and Jake are with me today.
Okay.
We're having a good time. We're not cutting loose too much because it's day one.
Yeah.
You got a lot of school points you got to hit on real hard. But I feel like it's definitely going to get interesting tomorrow.
Oh, dude, no doubt. So you're up there for 3 days. I mean, obviously, they ramp it up every single day that you're there. I mean, at the end of this deal, though, I mean, I know you're up there for training and stuff like that. You and I talk quite a bit just via text and stuff like that. I know you want to get behind the wheel of something in race conditions soon again. I mean, any prospects out there for you, Tommy?
It all depends. It's just really whoever wants me to come, get some eyes on the car. Cause I mean, that's kind of what I'm good at is like, and I'm pretty easy on equipment despite what people say. But a while ago, like right after when I did the first stage with the stock Honda Fit, B-Spec, Tino Fortunato actually extended an invite to drive his car, which is all-wheel drive turbo. But I didn't have enough points at that time to run that car in that series.
Yeah.
So I'm looking to actually do that soon, and hopefully if Tino gets another car, because he burned his down.
Yeah, his ended up. It was a dude. It looked like it went through your smoker or something.
Yeah. Unfortunately for him, man, I feel so bad for him because that's his baby.
That was a beautiful car too, man.
God, it was a rocket ship. Yeah, I wanted to drive that so bad, man. But pretty much I'll drive anything, man. Like I don't care what the class, what the series. I love racing.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You're like rally cars, off-road trucks, razors, dude. Just let me at it, right?
Don't care. Put me in it. Let's go.
That's what I think is funny though, because I know like for the longest time, like Trav, a lot of people like, oh, he's getting by the wheel, he's gonna wreck things, and it was like at the Mint 400, like 5 or 6 years ago when he raced with Bryce, everybody's like, oh, dude, he's going to ball it up in the first 15 miles. Trav ended up finishing like 4th or 5th in the freaking Mint 400, right? Like, Trav's a really good driver, but all the shenanigans that you guys do, I think you know what I mean? People don't realize it, and you're another one like that. You go out and you win your first rally. Didn't hurt the car a bit. Bilko, he shows up at Bilko's blank. We're on air, so I can't really say, but he's a bit crazy. Yeah, and he goes, dude's like podium global rallycross lights cars. Like I think you guys are all like hella good drivers. I feel like people just like sometimes they lose sight of that because of all the antics you guys do for TV and video. Yeah, we're goofy and we kind of show like our personality, which is not very big in the racing world. But, it's all about having a good time. And as long as you're getting seat time, you're picking up skills no matter what. Whether it be crazy carts in the garage or actual GRC lights. But, you're picking up seat time no matter what. Yeah. And that's one thing that I'd love to do. I'm a little jealous of Bilko. I'd love to do a lights race. Or even if maybe we could do that class of Dirtfish. Yeah. Yeah, do a lights class. That'd be awesome. Yeah, I think they're going to up the insurance if you and I are both going there to do the lights class together. They're going to be like, oh, we better double down on the insurance policy on this car here. Just give each one of us a wide berth. Yeah, they're not going to have us threading that through the trees. They're going to give us the big open parking lot area. They'll be like, all right, we're going to set some cones up. We're not going to let you guys. Yep. We're just going to be spending most of our time in the boneyard over here. Well, I will say I've actually tested lights cars, and I was really fast in it, but like the first 3 laps, I was just feeling it out. Hadn't driven a sequential gearbox in a while. Patrick Sandell, who races for Subaru, he's Trav's teammate over there on Subaru Rally Team USA.
Oh, I know Patrick. Yeah,
dude,
he's good people.
Yeah, Patrick was actually in the car with me, and he's supposed to be coaching me through this stuff. And, dude, I went into this corner so hot. I spun that car, and cones went everywhere, dude. It must have been like a good dozen cones. And we're halfway through the spin, and Patrick is just laughing. He couldn't contain himself. I'm like, man, it's pretty bad when your driver's coach is laughing.
He's probably like, oh, you came into the corner way too hot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was the total accent, you know.
Yeah. I love Patrick, man. He's good people.
Yeah, no, Patrick's awesome. Still to this day, dude, I run into him, and he never forgets. I got the video. I'll have to post it up on social media because, dude, the in-car, Patrick's literally, you just hear this guy laughing, you know? But, see, that was one we were lucky it was in a parking lot, man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So what's up next for you? Obviously, you got Dirtfish going on. I know you said you're barbecuing there in the Northwest, though, huh?
Yeah, man. We were over at Era 3 Clothing in Hartgood. I met those guys through a SHOT Show and Nate Wessel. And they're really a great company, great people. Paid us to come all the way out to Oregon, drag the truck, trailer, everything, and we did a really awesome catering event. Like they have like a car show / like fitness competition / open house with just all kinds of stuff, man. It was a really, really cool down-home event in Grants Pass, Oregon, where they're based. And, we cooked for them, vended, and had a bunch of people out and come taste the barbecue, and everybody was loving the brisket, man. Once we packed up there, we just shot on up to Washington, and Dirtfish, here we are.
Nice. I've actually got Era 3, I think, Small World. My friend Jared and his wife Jamie. Jamie actually modeled for them for a little bit. They actually live in Parker, some of my best friends. She was actually
nice.
Yeah, she actually modeled for them for, I don't know, it was a few years back, but Jared, I think, was tied in with him somehow, and he's a big gun advocate and stuff like that. And so just
That's rad.
Such a small world, dude. Such a small world.
Yeah, dude, it's all connected. All the rad stuff.
It is, right? It's so connected, man. But awesome catching up, brother. I know we only got a short segment on this one, but we need to do it more often. I know you and I, we're working on something behind the scenes. We'll get it all the I's dotted and T's crossed at some point. But thanks for calling in, my friend.
I greatly appreciate the time, Jim.
All right, that was Street Bike Tommy. Always fun catching up with him. We're going to take a short break. My Vision Wheel teammate, Keegan Kincaid, he's coming up next here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on 4 wheels? The Polaris RZR brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris RZR because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team RZR because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris RZR because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRZR.com or follow at Polaris RZR on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
When looking for a new wheel for your off-road vehicle, car, truck, or UTV, the choice is easy. You choose what the pros use. Rob McCachran, Keegan Kincaid, and myself, Jim Beaver, all exclusively use Vision Wheel, whether we're dominating Baja, taking the cup at Crandon, or shredding UTVs. Vision Wheel's trend-setting designs and durability will set you apart from the competition and your friends. Check out visionwheel.com or at Vision Wheel on social media to learn more.
You're listening to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. All killer and no filler.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver joined here on the line by my Vision Wheel teammate, Mr. Keegan Kincaid. How's everything going, buddy?
Good, Jim. How have you been?
Been a whirlwind for me between Bark River and Vegas to Reno, but I am amped for what's to come this weekend, and that's Crandon. I know one of my favorite races of the year, and I don't even get to race it, man. This got to be one of your favorites, especially being, I guess, your hometown race, and this is the big one, right?
Yeah, we came off of Bark River with a pretty successful weekend finally, in this new Pro 2 that my father and I built, and it's feeling good. I'm feeling good, and we get to come to our hometown track with some momentum and just show some Lucas out west boys what we can do. So we're excited. Hopefully the weather cooperates for us, and we can have a great weekend.
Yeah, well, and talking about the out west boys, I know the Cup race is going to be a wild one. I don't know who's bringing what for Pro 2 versus Pro 4, but I know we got RJ coming, at least in in one of his two vehicles. I mean, Menzies is going to be here. I heard Deegan's pulling the trigger. Deegan's coming back. I'm like, man, this is going to be a stacked field for that Cup race, buddy.
Yeah, this is going to be one of the, I think, best years. It's the 49th anniversary, and next year the 50th. So I think it's just continually growing, and it's just awesome to see. They're bringing in some Ultra 4 guys to come and race as well, and I don't know where they're going to fit everybody. It's just going to be a crazy event, and we're ready. Getting Deegan to come back, Menzies is here again, RJ, and all these guys, and it's going to be a show that the fans ain't going to want to miss.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about your year real quick, because I know you went from, you built, like you said, a brand new Pro 2 this year, came out of the box. We knew this thing was fast at Crandon, and then came ERX, and like a fluke deal. You guys have, I guess, basically built two Pro 2s this year now, right?
Yeah, it's been a busy year for only racing 4 weekends, and but it's been good. It's been definitely one of the most struggling learning curves. Not so much, just fluke things happening, and we finally got this truck figured out after ERX. We wrecked it pretty good and got it put back together, and it's better than ever, and we couldn't be more happy, with what we've had to deal with having no practice on this truck once again. I don't know if it's something with the series coming here and racing, but it seems like every time we go races, the Pro 2 doesn't get to practice. So we finally got this thing figured out, and I don't think it's a better time than for fall Crandon. So we're excited.
Yeah, well, and, I'm a desert guy who, we build trucks and razors and whatever. I've raced just about everything in the desert, kind of like you in short course. But, like, we build a new car, we know, hey, man, there's going to be at least a half a season to a full season, not necessarily a learning curve for me as a driver, but just teething issues with a truck and things like that. I mean, and it seems like short course, I mean, not necessarily you guys, but it's like you guys have to come out of the box swinging, a new truck or not. It's like you got no room for having teething issues, I mean, and obviously you guys have figured it out. You took a win in, I guess the third weekend of racing, but I mean, do you feel extra added pressure, especially, you are very much sponsor driven. You got to worry about sponsors and making them happy and things like that. I mean, how is that approaching the new year in a new truck and like you guys going into Crandon with no test time?
Yeah, we've done it before with the Pro 4 last year as well. We came out and just had to come right out of the box and show what it had to do. And, we've been happy. We've been able to, it's actually helped us as a team to learn to adjust on the fly and make the right adjustments and help us grow as a team and make this truck fast. And right now this truck is worked better than we've ever had, especially with the new Pro 2 rules for the Midwest teams. We didn't know what to expect and where we were gearing and everything else for setup. So it was definitely a learning curve to start off, and we were really happy coming out of the box. And like we had before is just a little mistake, and it cost you, but that's racing. And we're happy. We just been keeping our head down and sitting me and my dad in the shop all day and getting this truck ready for Crandon, and we're ready.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, it's got to be exciting. Obviously, you know what I mean? The spring Crandon, I mean, I guess, which is summer Crandon too. I don't know. We call them spring and fall, I guess, right? But they're both kind of summer events. But, that one's a big one. But coming into this weekend, you guys, hometown crowd, I mean, you got the parade down through Crandon. Everybody knows. I mean, I guess it's what? You and Mikey Vandenheuvel are probably like local celebrities at this one, right? I mean, do you feel a little bit added pressure? I mean, like, hey, we got to put on a show because these people, I got to look them in the eye next week.
Yeah, I see these people every single day, and it's just really neat to be able to live in Crandon and experience it not just one time a year like everybody else gets to, but all year round. And I don't look at myself any different as any of these people that are my fans, and we just like to hang out and have a good time. But there is a little added pressure. You got a little more family, a little more friends, and you want to perform for them and not disappoint, but not also them, but your sponsors. And it's good to be able to sleep in your bed. And I think we've done good performing under pressure. So I like that little bit of pressure, and we can have a little smack talk at the end of the weekend and stuff. So it's really cool to be able to hang out and have your friends be able to come and check it out. So it's cool.
Yeah, well, and talking about this weekend, obviously you've taken a cup win here before. Talk us through that. I mean, because especially with the Pro 4 aspect of it, I mean, there's got to be a little bit of luck involved, especially with the cautions. I know we saw with the flag came out and basically we're talking at Spring Crandon now, and it kind of screws you guys over that we're in Pro 2s, because all of a sudden things are bunched back up, and that big gap that Johnny and CJ had, between you guys and them, it was all for naught, after the flags come out and things like that. So there's a little bit of luck, but I mean, how do you approach that as a Pro 2 guy? And I know we talked in the past, you always say it's better to be the hunter than the huntee, but now it's like you're always driving with your eyes on the rearview mirror when the Pro 4s are approaching, right?
Yeah, Pro 2 is definitely the more challenging of the two in the Cup race, having driven the Pro 4 and Pro 2. Just like you said, it's easier to be the hunted than the hunted, and you're running like a scared dog when you're in the Pro 2. But it's definitely a challenge either way. And like you said, my dad always told me it's better to be lucky than skilled. So you need a little luck if you're in the Pro Light, or if you're in the Pro 2 or the Pro 4. You need to have that on your side, depending on what they have for the gap and the weather. There's a lot of factors that play in, and you just go out there and give it 110% and not let up for those 9 laps. So it's just we don't know how it's going to play out, and hopefully you have a little bit of luck on your side, and hopefully your truck's working good and things are feeling good. And that's what happened in 2016 is it all fell in place and it worked out great for us, and we're hoping to do that again in this year. So we're ready. We're preparing for it and making the best of it.
Yeah, well, in a weekend like this, and correct me if I'm wrong, I haven't seen the official schedule yet, but I believe you've got like 3 races this weekend, right? You're racing Friday night, make-up points race, then Saturday and Sunday, correct?
Yeah, I think we'll end up having 4 races total. So we race Friday night, Saturday, and twice on Sunday. So it's definitely going to be a lot of racing and a lot of carnage. We stocked up on bodies and we're ready to go and hit the track and hopefully come out of here with a couple wins in the hometown and the end of the year on the right note.
Yeah, well, and talking about, that, I mean, there's a lot of Midwest guys, and I know Pro 2's been the exciting division to watch this year. I mean, we knew we were going to be strong coming in, and then there's some guys we know about, we haven't heard about recently, but I mean, Mike Vandenheuvel, we got Chad Horde, who I know you're close with. I mean, it's got to be pretty cool to be racing and having that level of competition where, you guys are battling at every single corner.
Yeah, this is, I feel like this is the most competitive racing that I've experienced in a long time, with Chad Horde and Mikey Van Hoovel, Daily Pinnacle coming into the class. I mean, I think this is the up-and-coming class, and this class is going to create the most racing. I think we've all been within, the top 6 of us have been within a second on each track, and it's been the tightest racing that I've experienced in a long time, and it's definitely a blast going out there and doing battle with these guys, and I really expect it to get better as the years go on. And but you have to prepare yourself, get ready to it's not just a battle for 5 minutes, it's a whole race, whether you're battling with someone next to you. So I definitely enjoy battling with Mikey and Chad and all those guys that are in Pro 2. You just never know who you're going to be dealing with. So it's been a fun time.
Yeah. Well, and, that being said, obviously, this is forward-looking a bit, but, Crandon wraps up this weekend. After that, I mean, you got this beautiful brand-new Vision wheelback truck. Any chance we see you make a trip out west, or are you guys, going to immediately start concentrating on 2018 or 2019?
Oh, that's still in the works. We're trying to make it out to the last Chandler race in Arizona, and we want to put our big motor in and go and do it the right way and compete for a couple wins, but that's still in the process. But recently we just worked out a deal. We'll be at the Indianapolis Jeep Jamboree, 4-wheel drive Jamboree, 2 weeks from Fall Crandon, and we'll be doing some demos down there. We'll be the Grand Marshal and be on display at the Vision Wheel booth and just have a good time that weekend and show off what these trucks can do and hopefully gain a couple fans.
Yeah. Well, you talk about being at the Vision Wheel booth and having a good time. Like, I got to say that I've spent a lot of time with these guys. They never have any fun whatsoever, right?
Yeah. Todd and Red and all those guys are really good. And I think that's why we relate so well with them. They're really easy to talk to, and we can bounce ideas off each other and work well together. So I look forward to continue my career with Vision Wheel and see where we can go from there.
Yeah, and like you said, a lot of fun guys to work with. Very few companies, and this is me kind of giving the promo plug here, but I know when we put my deal together this year, I approached them and said, hey, we need this out of a wheel. They said, all right. So literally, the day I signed my deal, I'm on the phone with an engineer, and they're helping me build a UTV wheel that'll work for me. And I'm like, I've never seen a company like that. Literally, the day the deal got signed, it was like, all right, we're going to talk with this guy. We're going to make a wheel for him that works. And I'm like, wow, like there's very few companies in this industry that'll go to bat for their athletes like that, and it's just been fun to work with a company like that.
Yeah, and they're the same here too, in off-road. If something's not right, they're going to make it right. And they want to see us win and give us the best product to make it happen. So we're excited to get to Crandon and continue our future with them as well.
Yeah. Well, I got to ask, too, one more question. I know, speaking of sponsors, Traxxas, you got a new truck out, right? Vision Wheel Traxxas Keegan Kincaid truck. Those things going to be on sale at Crandon?
Yeah, so Traxxas just released the new Keegan Kincaid edition, Vision Wheel, Cooper Tire Traxxas, Bilstein, Amsoil, all on the truck. It's a replica version of the Pro 2 that you'll see this next weekend, and we'll have it on sale at our pit. You come check them out, maybe even have a little bit to test drive, and if not, just come say hi and get an autograph. We'll be there.
So here's a question, putting you on the spot. If Jim Beaver stops by and buys one of those trucks, will you mail it to Arizona for me?
Oh yeah, not a problem at all. We'll get you. We'll get you the hookup and right. Make sure you have everything set up so you can go do some videos.
All right, awesome, man. Well, Keegan, man, I'm looking forward to this weekend for sure. Looking forward to. I didn't realize it's going to be 4 races for you boys. That's going to be a wild one for you guys. I'm already thinking about your pit crew because those guys are. Tell you what, they're gonna be run ragged this weekend.
Yeah, it's a good thing that it's a home race. We get a lot of volunteers this weekend, and we definitely going to need it for the 4 events. And it's going to be fun. We're ready.
All right, Keegan. Well, we will see you on Thursday, my friend. Thanks for calling into the show, and we'll good luck this weekend.
Thanks, Jim. We'll see you there.
Always fun catching up with Keegan Kincaid. Definitely look for him. Hopefully you guys are tuning into the live stream this weekend, Lucas Oil TV. I'll be calling the action along with my good friend Brent Smith, but you'll see Keegan Kincaid. Man, what do we got? Kyle LeDuc, R.J. Anderson, Ryan Beat, Bryce Menzies. We got a ton of guys from the West Coast. Wellers are making that trip out there in the UTVs. It's going to be a wild one, man. This is definitely one of the events. If you haven't tuned into short course all year long, Crandon this weekend, you want to be locked in front of your TV screen or your computer screen. If you're anywhere near there, you want to be making the trip out to Crandon to watch. This is going to be one of the best short course races in recent memory this weekend happening at Crandon. Thanks, Keegan, for calling into the show. We'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host the Down and Dirty Radio Show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. When looking for a new wheel for your off-road vehicle, car, truck, or UTV, the choice is easy. You choose what the pros use. Rob McCachran, Keegan Kincaid, and myself, Jim Beaver, all exclusively use Vision Wheel, whether we're dominating Baja, taking the cup at Crandon, or shredding UTVs. Vision Wheel's trend-setting designs and durability will set you apart from the competition and your friends. Check out visionwheel.com or at Vision Wheel on social media to learn more.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle and Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. Anywhere is possible. It's more than just a slogan. Anywhere is possible with General Tire's wide variety of tires for whatever it is that you drive. Whether you're looking for off-road capability balanced with impressive on-road performance or ultra-high performance offering all-season traction designed with a driving enthusiast in mind, General Tire has what you need to get where you're going. General Tire, providing anywhere is possible with the Down and Dirty Radio Show since 2012.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online in syndication on networks across the U.S. and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
All right, Jim Beaver here, and we're going to wrap things up on today's Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Thank you guys for tuning in. Once again, if you enjoyed that Greg Biffle interview, we're going to drop the full thing uncut on Project Action. It'll drop this Thursday. What would that be? The 30th, I believe. Thursday the 30th on Project Action. Get it at downanddirtyshow.com, on the Podcast One network, or on iTunes. Make sure and subscribe to that on iTunes. Subscribe to the Down and Dirty Radio Show as well. Leave a rating review. Leave your Twitter, Instagram at username in the body of the review down on iTunes at the bottom there. If you leave that at username, I will follow you back on social media when I see it. Thanks to Greg Biffle, Street Bike Tommy, as well as Keegan Kincaid. for calling into the show today. I am headed out to Crandon. Looking forward to that. Make sure and catch me on Lucas Oil TV. I'll be calling all the shots this weekend on the live stream. And if you're at the track, I'll be on the PA as well and on the Jumbotron. If you're watching on TV down the road, I'll be there. You're going to get your dose of Crandon and myself this week, I promise. But big shout-out to Vision Wheel, Polaris Razor, General Tire, Subaru, Casey Highlights, Gibson Exhaust, Dirtfish, Optimus, MotoShield Pro, Blue Water Resort and Casino, GoParts.com. Make sure and follow me. It's at JimBeaver15 on all forms of social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Also got a YouTube channel. The show's actually dropped there as well. And on Instagram, we've got a second account. It's at Down and Dirty Show. Check out all our content on the web at downanddirtyshow.com. You can use that coupon code JBDirtfish. That'll get you 15% off when you visit our friends up there at Dirtfish Rally School. Don't forget, check out Project Action, dropping Thursday. Down and Dirty Radio Show, dropping every Tuesday. Subscribe on iTunes, and make sure if you're heading out to Crandon, come by, say hey to me. I would love to meet you guys in the flesh. I'll be punching up a ton of content there as well as on the website. So going to be a fun time. Be safe. We'll see you next week. As always, game on.